Okay. All right, everybody. Whoop. Let's go back. Welcome to Google Docs for Writers, part of the Dell Texas Learning Network. We are recording, just so you know. And my name, hold on, I'm admitting somebody from the waiting room. My name is Tom Malini. I'm coming to you from Hillsborough, North Carolina. I have a background, special education, followed by middle and high school social studies and some ed tech coaching. And now I do this. I broadcast to other teachers throughout the country during this very unique time, right? I am a Google for Education certified innovator, trainer, and product expert. And you will receive these slides and have my contact information on them. So you'll be able to send me any follow-up questions. This is a partnership between Dell Technologies and Advanced Learning Partnerships called the Dell Texas Learning Network. I come to you through Advanced Learning Partnerships, and our values include perpetuating trust, cherishing the value of people, realizing opportunity, and serving with gratitude. And let me just tell you our quick session outcome. Participants will use their detailed understanding of Google Docs features to facilitate narrative writing by students. My hope is that you will leave this session with a deep dive understanding of the many things you can do in Google Docs. And the good news is that we're going to talk about a lot of different features, but if anything doesn't stick right away, that's great. You will have my agenda and slides. And so let me give those to you now. So I'm going to quickly bring up the agenda document, which is the document that I will use to kind of demo a lot of this stuff here, but I'll just drop it in the chat real quick. So there's our agenda, and it's right here. It has our description, our outcome, our link to our slides that I'm not going to click on it just yet, because that's a very special link, and we'll talk about that shortly. Then we're going to do a little framing in a minute, and then a lot of links to videos and explainers of the things that we talk about, so that, again, if in 45 minutes you don't memorize it perfectly the first time you're taught it, just like our students, don't worry, you can go back and reteach yourself and even explore more if you care to. At the end, we'll do a survey and we'll make sure we fill out our attendance and we'll be good to go. All right, let's do some framing. So first of all, tech and equity. I always address technology and equity. Technology does not solve equity problems. Technology is an accelerant. It makes equitable teaching more inclusive. It makes oppressive teaching all the worse. Now, of course, in the year 2021 in the United States of America, we have to be very, very cognizant of equity, because it's something that's missing from our entire system, education and otherwise. Having said that, when your students have devices, you can say, hey, students, you all have been issued devices. Guess what? 2 hours of homework a night. Or you can say, hey, students, you all have been issued devices. I will use these to facilitate you having multiple opportunities to learn and having multiple ways that you can express yourself, right? Those are two very different approaches to technology. And I would ask you to please be as inclusive with technology as possible for your students. I'd ask you to make them not a $300 pencil. We're going to talk about word processing today. At the same time, students need to be creative, have multiple opportunities to learn, and easily access their work and materials. I'm going to take you through some great things you can do with Google Docs, and things you can do both in the things that you create for students, but things that students can do as well. All right, that's the framing. Let's dive in. We have a lot of time and a lot to do. I think I will actually put the slides over to the side, because we're going to use the slides. I'll use the slides kind of as the teacher's edition while I demo some things to you. And the first and foremost is just docs.google.com. That's the actual website where Google Docs lives. Now, what does that even mean? So here, I'll show you an example. So if I have a new tab here, in my browser, I can type docs.google.com, or I can go here to the apps launcher and I can find Google Docs, and it's right there. And this here is docs.google.com. And what you will see here, now, most people will go into their Google Drive to retrieve their Google Docs, but this is a good place to do it as well. You can toggle by owned by me or not owned by me or owned by anyone. So that I use that a lot to, do I own that one? Then owned by me. Is that something that somebody else created and I collaborate in? Then let me, go to that. But up here, we have a template gallery. Now you can click this start a blank, but if we click the template gallery, now what will happen is a lot of school districts, not all, but some of them will have templates that they have loaded to that template gallery. Otherwise, you will have a letter, a number of resume templates. Here's a business letter, an informal letter, some personal stuff, including one that's a pet resume. Okay, all right. I should do one for Marty the cat, my cat here, who isn't in the room now, but just you wait. I have a feeling. And then there's some work ones, including project proposals and meeting notes and brochures and a newsletter. And then, I guess if you have add-ons, you can get some more. There's all sorts of ones here, human resources. And then we get to education, and this is what we care about. We have our essays and our reports and our book reports and our class notes and lesson plans. So there's a lot there that you can take advantage of just off the start. All right, let me get my slides to the side so that we can go on with some things here. And by the way, if you have a question, just drop it in the chat. I think at the end, we'll have some time for some questions as well. But if there's a question or two, as long as we can get through things, then, it'll be very easy for me to try to attend to them. All right, let's get our agenda back on the screen. And let's talk, first of all, let's change our page dimension. So in Google Docs, it will default to 8.5 by 11. That's the standard sheet of paper, has been since the early 80s. I looked up the other day, at least in the United States of America. But if I go here to File and I go to Page Setup, there's a lot of things I can do. One, I can make it landscape. I can also change my margins here. And so if you're photocopying what you do in Google Docs, I always used to do this in the classroom. I would change these to 0.5 instead of 1. And that would usually, I could, a 7-page handout would become a 6-page. I'm saving a page at the copier. It is Earth Day, right? So there's that, there's portrait or landscape. A recent development on this is that we can make these page setup changes apply to the whole document or just a page or two or whatever we want to do. That's really cool. The other thing that you can do is you can change your background color. So let's say I wanted like a real pink or custom, here, I'll say over here, and I go like over here maybe, and I click OK. And I'll click OK and I'll do it. And you see that's awful, right? Just like in any technology application, there's always an undo button. But you can change your background color. You can change your page setup. You can make it landscape, which sometimes is really helpful. Sometimes landscape handouts are great for kids. Instead of the default portrait. Okay. Then I wanted to show you actually, let's have some fun with fonts for a minute. So this here, most of this is in what's called Proxima Nova. Proxima Nova is a really nice font. Let me change my view actually. Let's get up to like 200 real quick. Proxima Nova is a really nice font as I admit one more person into the room. So Proxima Nova, nice font, but what I can add fonts, and there's one font I want you to pay attention to and consider using with your kids. And so to go find it, you click a word or a letter. You click on the font and you see right here where it says more fonts. I want you to go there and you're going to type the word Lexend, Lexend. And there you will find what are called the Lexend fonts. This is a family of fonts. And they have been researched over about a 20-year period to help reading speed. So the researchers behind this said, what if we address reading issues through font interventions? And so the letters are a little flatter. If you notice, how elementary educators love Times New Roman and the rest of the universe, or not Times New Roman, sorry, Comic Sans. So elementary educators love Comic Sans. The rest of the universe hates Comic Sans. But elementary educators say, well, that letter A is written in Comic Sans like I teach my kids to write the letter A. Well, the good news is in Lexend fonts, that letter A is like that as well. So you're good there. Now, Lexan Deca it's basically, it's the closest together of them, all the way up to Lexan Zeta, where they're really spaced apart. And one of my old jobs, I used to have to create signs for doors for certain events. And what I would do is I would always do them in Lexan Zeta. Just it was a bigger, I could make it nice and big. It looked good. And those pixels are really breathing. I like to say they're social distancing. They're 6 pixels apart. I don't know if they're 6 pixels or not, but you get my point. So let's say I actually make this word here, Lexan Zeta. See how that is very different, isn't it? And those characters are definitely a little bit apart. Anyway, that's something you can try, the Lexan fonts. I have more information in the slides and in our agenda. All right, next thing I just wanted to show you real quick is our normal text and headings. So right now, these are set to normal text, but I'm going to make them headings. So here, I will change that to, let's say, heading 2. Okay, and then I'm going to make this one heading 2, and I'll make that one heading 2 as well. And a couple things will happen. So first of all, if I go to my zoom out here, and let me get out of here, my outline will be changed a little bit, because the outline over here, this nice little outline, corresponds to what I've done there, right? The other cool thing I can do, so let's say I make this one heading, let's say I want to make my heading 2, that this font, whatever, and I can update heading 2 to match. And what that will do is that anytime I'm in a document and I go to heading 2, it will make Arial 16 my heading 2, all right? Personally, I'm not a big fan of Arial 16, so I'm not going to actually do that, but you can do that. That's really nice. Let's see here. And what that means is when we do that, when we use headings, now headings are great for accessibility. They make the doc a little interactive. Oh, I want to see session materials. Well, there, it takes me right there. But I can insert anywhere in the document, and I'll do it up here. Insert table of contents. And this gives you an interactive table of contents, and you can do page numbers or not do page numbers. So longer document, please do page numbers. And please, by the way, for longer documents, please save your kids scrolling. If you, for some reason, have a very long document, and I'm thinking of, what if you had like a course guide for a high school, right? And you had families going through this Google Doc. Well, use headings and use a table of contents. So I'll just insert a table of contents, and let's do the blue links. And what happens is now this here acts like a little table of contents, which is pretty nice. It clicks there. You can do it with page numbers. I would actually say do it with the links, page numbers if it's a printed material. And it's really nice. If I had heading 3, that would indent under there. And if I make any changes, so let's say I make, what can I make heading 3? Here, I'll make this heading 3. So now that's heading 3. Notice it updated on the side. But what I'll do is in my table of contents, I'll click this refresh button and it will update that. It's pretty nice. Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing that can do. And I apologize, I'm really making a mess of this table of contents. I'll probably revert it back. At the very end, maybe we'll talk about version history and I'll revert it back to what it was right when we got started. But anyway. All right, now, you notice there's some hyperlinking here because we can link to places in the document. Well, what if I need to hyperlink somewhere else, but it's not a heading? Well, check this out. I can insert a bookmark. So here at the very end here, let's say I want you to get right there, right? I'll click insert and I will click bookmark. Now, what that does is that puts that little bookmark right there. And again, let me change my view to make that more conspicuous. So there's a bookmark right there. Now, what I can do as a teacher when I'm sharing this with students, check this out. I can right click and I can copy link URL, or actually I can even just do it here, copy link address right there. And in our chat now, and this will help anyone who got here late, you're going to get into the agenda. And so here's the bookmark link. And that puts you right there. Okay, so that puts you right there, and you're in, and it should take you right to that bookmark, which is pretty nice. So a lot of ways to hyperlink, get interactive, have fun with all that stuff. All right, let's do our next thing. That is something that is not really addressed a lot, but is something that you can have some fun with, and that's preferences in Google Docs. So if I go to Tools, there is a button here called Preferences. So let's just go there real quick. Now, these are defaults, but your defaults are automatically capitalized, use smart quotes, detect links, detect lists, correct spelling, suggest. It will now suggest action items. You have to have some collaborators in there. So, and then show link details, which is something we're going to get into. Now, these are all on by default. They're really great. I don't recommend turning any of them off. There's also substitution. So this is a great example right here. So if I type, and I'll just copy this so I can show you this. If I type, 1/2, it's going to change it to that 1/2. But here, if I type that to get a copyright symbol, so let me just get out of here. And so down here, so I'll type a little bracket, I'll type a C, I'll type the next bracket, and I hit the space, and that becomes a copyright. Now, again, that's all baked in. You don't have to do anything to bring that up, but just want to let you know that that's there. You might want to explore that. See, back to Tools, Preferences, and we go to Substitutions, because a lot of them are fractions, and they are, you can turn that off, but you could also, if you wanted, for some reason, if there was some word that was really long and hard for you to spell, but you had some sort of code or shorthand for it. So here, I will, let's say my last name, Mulaney, and I will just say ML, okay? So, because ML, that doesn't really, that doesn't really follow a lot. So here, so now I will type ML, and it becomes Mulaney. So that's pretty nice. So if you have anything, and again, that's Tools, Preferences, and let me delete that. Oh boy, I better go find it. There it is, it's right there, TM for trademark, and I'll just X out of there, and it won't happen again. Okay. And we had one person just join us, so welcome. We're a little into it, maybe like 1/3 of the way in, but I got my agenda, and you'll notice our agenda is a little messy because I've been demoing on it. Please don't get worried. I think I'll clean it up later. I'll just revert the version history. All right, next thing. We have a few things as far as word count. So Tools, word count right there. And one thing you can do, so right now I'm at 156 words, I'm at 2 pages, 10, 12 characters, but I can display it while I'm typing. So here you see there, I have that, and it actually gives me that, and I can hide it again. But so let me delete Mulaney over here. I have one word highlighted and I delete it. These are more words, and you can see it's updating the word count. And welcome, got another one joining a little bit late, that's fine. Put the agenda, I meant to put the agenda and I put the copyright. Oh boy, hold on. Give me 1 second, agenda. So if you've just joined, got our agenda right there, great. All right, so that's word count, something really nice. I don't know, it's a little bit like when you do a video workout and the clock is on Google Meet. That's something that's happened for me. I'm like, oh man, I'm this wiped and I'm 15 minutes into an hour, so I don't know if you like word count or not, but you can display it. All right, from there, let's talk voice typing. Can we talk about voice typing, please? One of my very favorite things, because we know that this right here, for our students with motor issues, can be real challenging. So we can voice type. So we go to Tools, Voice Typing, And by the way, we can do this, and look how many languages. It's more than 100 languages. I don't know the exact number, but it's a lot. All right, we'll do it in English, and I will click to speak. My name is Tom Mullaney, period. I am sitting in Hillsborough, North Carolina, period. New line. I am excited to talk to teachers in Texas today, exclamation point, new paragraph. What will we learn, question mark. I think we will learn about Google Docs. Okay, so pretty decent. It's capitalizing our proper nouns, Texas, my first name, didn't get my last name, but it spelled my last name correctly. That's cool. Hillsborough, North Carolina, all capitalized. Now I did this with bullets, so that makes it a little weird, but new line and new paragraph worked. Google Docs is capitalized, it's a proper noun. I never did give it a closing punctuation there. Now, obviously, it's a little weird to talk that way, but think about the practice that actually gives your kids with grammar. And now they then have to go clean it up. So they still have to edit and proofread it, but they get a little help there. And again, that's under tools, voice typing. As you can tell, the tools menu is just full of cool stuff. All right, I'm going to delete that, but that's a little example of some things we can do there. Next thing, special characters. So we can insert special characters, and we have all sorts of ones. So if I like say I want a degree, okay, and I want the degree symbol. See right there, degree sign or Celsius or Fahrenheit. Bam, put it in, no problem. Other thing we can do, a couple things. So let's go back. Let's get out of here, and I can do emojis. So that's under not symbol, emoji right here. And so you see that, so I can find emojis real quick. So let's say I want Earth for Earth Day. So I can get my Earth emoji, click on that. And then I can also draw. So let's say I want to draw a house. All right, I know we can find the house emoji, but and imagine if your kids have touchscreens on this one. So I draw and I got my little house here, and let's put a little chimney on it. And look at that, there's the house emoji. And now if I click out of there, I got my degree sign, I got my Earth emoji, I have my house emoji. So you can have some fun with that. That's special characters. All right, the other thing, and wow, this is going to be interesting. Let me get back to like a 175, 150 zoom here. Spelling and grammar, it's baked in. It will give you spelling and grammar suggestions as you go. But if you ever just want to go to it, tools, spelling and grammar, and then here it will kind of give you, your things here. And I have show spelling suggestions and show grammar suggestions toggled on. So you do that, but you can do this here and it'll tell you document looks good. Let me just, let me misspell something real quick. So I will, North Carolina is great. So, all right. So right now it's giving me a couple things here. Oh, and it actually auto-corrected that great. You saw that. I tried to spell great incorrectly. If I go to tools, I go to spelling and grammar check, it's going to bring me to this and it's going to say, hey, change Carolina to Carolina. So there you go. All right. Now, something that is unique to Google Docs for editing. This only lives in Docs. It doesn't live in drawing sheets, slides, Jamboard, any of that. It is suggestion mode. And so if I want to make a comment on something, I need to zoom back out again. Let's say I want to make a comment on this description. It brings me two buttons. If I highlight it, click on it, add comment or add or suggested edits. But I can just go into suggested mode right here. And now this suggestion mode, now this is where I can make suggestions. So let me actually put this back to normal text, and I will make this back to Proxima Nova and Bold. And so that's just, I'm making some formatting suggestions. But here, I'll add a little text suggestions. These are great slides. So now my suggestions are format the text and then add these are great slides, right? If I go back to edit mode, I still see those suggestions. If I go to view mode, and you all have view access to this, but so you don't see the suggestions. They don't take hold until I go back to editing. And there I either accept or reject. So here I'm going to reject that suggestion, and I'm going to accept this one real quick. Okay, so now you will see those changes reflected. Now, if you want an outline of all the suggestions that have been made, click up here to comment history. And this here actually includes all the suggestions accepted or rejected in as well as the comments. So that's kind of cool. Okay. Next one. All right. So we talked about accepting or rejecting suggested edits. We did that. Let's talk about review suggested edits. Oh, all right. So let me make one more here. I'm going to make another suggestion. So suggest edits, and I'm going to again do this one with Proxima Nova and heading or normal text. Oh, I'm going to make it Proxima Nova, and I'll say make it bold. Great. And all right, so now I have two suggestions here. And so I can go to Tools, Review Suggested Edits, and I can accept or reject. I can preview, accept all. I can, I can preview what it will look like if I reject all. So preview, accept all. That is really, really nice. As we have a few people joining, welcome. We're talking all things Google Docs today. Let me get the agenda back into the chat for our newcomers. All right, let's keep it going. All right, we got a little ways, it's okay. I'll try to wrap up by like 4:40 or 3:40 so that we have time for the agenda and, excuse me, the survey and some questions. All right, so I will accept all those suggestions. All right, someone in the chat, let's see in the chat real quick. Someone give me a place or favorite place in Texas. Could be an attraction, could be a city. Drop it in the chat. Someone drop a favorite place or thing to do in Texas. I'm coming to you from North Carolina, so you know, let's if you can drop it in the chat, that would be awesome. All right, I'm not seeing any yet, so I'm just going to say Austin. All right, so let's type in Austin, and I'll do Austin, Texas. Oh, Houston Rodeo. You know what? All right. Oh, and you know what? I got it. I got an Austin, and all right. I'm going to do Austin, Texas. It's the one I said, but then thank you. I appreciate it. I should have given more wait time. I'm going to do Austin, Texas. My favorite vegan food truck is there, so I click on that. And here I can insert content. I can quote content. There's a lot of cool things I can do. So let's say here, is Austin, Texas the best city in America? Let's pretend I wanted to cite that. So what I can do here is I can click as a footnote. And so that's really nice. The other thing I can do, and by the way, here, I can change my footnotes to ML. Oh, and I'm actually doing this as suggestions right now. It works the same whether you're editing or suggesting. But here I can cite that using MLA, APA, or Chicago format. There's another citations tool, but I wanted to show you that. That is part of the Explorer tool. The other thing I can do with the Explorer tool, I'm searching Google within the Google Doc. I'm not leaving to another tab. That's really nice. And that's a teaser of something to come. When I click on images here, I can now just drop in. Actually, I don't even need to drop in. I can click that plus, and that gives me the image real quick of Austin, right? And it links to where I got it from, which is also super nice. These are some suggestions I'm going to reject because I'm really making this agenda a mess right now. Oh, and actually, you know what? Here, you don't see these on your end. You'll see them as I demo them. Let me just go real quick into, we're going to add image, add paragraph. Let's reject those, and I will reject that suggestion as well. All right, back to the Explore tool. And now I'll do Great Wolf Water Park. I heard someone on a podcast the other day say that, yes, expect water parks to be COVID safe, maybe a little dicey on some other pathogens, but from coronavirus, you'd be fine. I don't know if these are, yeah, I'd be really curious to see if these are, oh, wow. I don't know. I might not go to the water park, no offense. But I'm getting a little, but anyway, you get my point. With the Explore tool, you can either drag them in or you can hit that plus button. And I never left suggestion mode. What am I doing here? Anyway, you get the point there with the Explore tool. All right, let's continue. All right, next thing. Oh, we can embed Google Slides into our Google Docs. Yes, yes, yes. So let me show you how to do this little trick that I am a fan of. So in our Google slideshow, what we're going to do is we are going to click a slide. So I got slide 26. Don't click on text in the slide. Just make sure you're selected it over here. Now we're going to go to edit and we're going to click copy. And so we've put the entire slide on our clipboard. Now in our Google Doc, and all right, good. I got this just how I want it. I'm in editing mode. I'm going to go to edit and I'm going to go to paste. And what will happen is I will have the ability to insert that slide as an image, and I can either link it to my presentation or just paste it unlinked as its own image. So I'll just click paste. And so now this is here. And I can either open the source or I think if I update that slide, give me 1 second. I want to update that slide. So let's say I just add like third bullet point, and you gotta spell point correctly. But so I've just updated that. It's saving. It's saved to drive. Does that update there? Yes, I can now. You see this update, and I can update it. I mean, that's a pretty cool hack. I really like that. So to put your slides content into your Google Docs, it's a really nice, easy way to do it. And again, that explanation is on the slide deck, which is available in our agenda up here. All right, let's keep going while we have some time to talk some things. Citations. So I am going to cite an article, and let's say I cite this article here about, or it's Earth Day. Happy Earth Day, everybody. So I have that article, I copy that. Let's cite an article real quick. So I will go back down here and I will go to tools and I will go to citations. And when they first drop, now, by the way, APA, MLA, APA, Chicago, when they first dropped this, and I'll click add citation source, they only had about 5 things you could do. Website was one of them, but now they've added some more and they've included a miscellaneous category. I will click on website. And they really want you to do a number of things here. I see the recommended field, title, website title, URL. So I'll just paste that URL. And once you do that, I mean, again, they want you to add all this stuff. And that's really smart stuff, and you should. But I'll click add citation source, and it's there. And so now, once I have it here, and it's not going to let me cite until I put a few more things, like I think such as title. So website title will be CNN. Let me just make sure. Let's get this here. I think once I put the title, it will let me actually cite it. I will paste that in. I'll save source. Now I can cite. Yes, now I can cite as an text citation. And so there I have it. That's MLA. If I wanted it as APA, I can now cite as APA. You see there's a little difference in the formatting. Once I have multiple sources, so here I'll use, let me use my slides as the other source. Well, you know what, we're running a little short on time, so I won't do that just real. But once I have multiple things here, I can press this insert bibliography button, and that will insert a bibliography right at the bottom. Question about insert, they are available on the Dell Texas Learning Network website as far as recordings of previous sessions. And do the survey and do the attendance to stay in the loop too. All right, while we have some time, we're gonna keep going. Compare documents tool. So if you have to compare two documents that, maybe two different versions of things that got off track, we go to tools, we go to compare documents, and you can compare this with any document in your Google Drive. And you can see what the differences are. We don't have enough time to do a deep dive on that right now, but that's a really nice tool, comparing documents. There they are. Look at my Google Docs. They took a minute to load, but they're there. All right. And all right, imagery, just want to show you with imagery, insert image, you have all these options, including your drive, including searching the web, and including your camera. So you can insert from your web camera. Think about how cool that is for lab reports, things like that. With your kids, they can insert from their camera. Again, we're running a little short on time, so I'm not going to demo that, but please keep that in mind. Now, hyperlinking. And you see here, I have all this stuff hyperlinked, right? Well, there's some really cool hyperlinking we can do right now. First is Google Docs and Slides preview panels. So in Google Slides, I took the share link and I hit copy link, I hit done. And what I did was I linked it to this word slides right here. Now I want to show you what happens. You see here, I get my little preview. I click open preview and I can go through the slides with the notes. Have I opened a new tab? Absolutely not. I think this is very powerful because we all are guilty, and our kids especially, of getting sidetracked with a million tabs open and having to shift between tabs, and oftentimes having to do that on an 11-inch screen. We don't have two monitors. It's difficult. Well, guess what? We can view the slides now in our Google Doc. No new tab. I love that. But we can also do it. And so here, if I type the word agenda and I take this hyperlink, and I'm going to link the same document inside itself, but watch this. So I'll hyperlink here, use the hyperlink button. I'll hit paste, I'll hit apply. We can do that with Google Docs as well. And I can click open preview. And so any Google Doc with the sharing link, you can do the same thing. I mean, how great is that? So if you need to link kids to another Google Doc inside of one that you have them reading, they can just open it right there. They don't need to open a new tab. But then that also applies to YouTube videos. Now I took the liberty of going to the solar system. I searched solar system, and let's say I like this video, right? So now I am going to, I'll just take this link here, I copy, and I will do now solar system video. And I will link that one. And I will hit apply, and the same thing will happen. Open preview, and now I am learning about the solar system inside my Google Doc, okay? And I've done that with a number of the links that you see here. So for example, this Google Docs for ebook publishing, you all can watch that video without ever going to YouTube. Where it is, and actually that's me, I narrate that one, so you get to hear my voice some more. Wow. One last thing I'll show you, and then we'll do some questions. We can do that for 360 videos in YouTube. So let's do that real quick. So back to my YouTube. And earlier I had searched for solar system, and you see this filters? Click on filter and go to 360. And this crash course one on the solar system is so good. Oh my goodness, it's so good. So if I hit, let's just hit the share button, because okay. And I'll change my solar system one to this URL. And now I click on it and I open preview. And you see I'm in here. Let's just go down a little bit. So there he's talking about Mercury, but I can go to other parts of the solar system, including, ow, I'm hot. our son, I'm telling you, whatever you teach your kids, if it's a subject where there's possibility of a 360 YouTube video on YouTube, please search it and filter it for 360 videos. So cool. Your kids can also watch them if you have goggles or something like that. If you have any of that equipment, your kids can do it. But your kids, as I'm doing on my laptop, can do on their laptop. And on a touchscreen, they can use their finger to navigate the video too. Really, really nice. All right, I'll leave you with one last thing before we do questions, before we do survey and agenda, and attendance, is we can publish in Google Docs. Yep, we can make ebooks. So we can either file, download as a PDF, and that's cool, and that's something that people do. But if your kids or you have an ebook reader like an Amazon Kindle or something like that, well, we can publish as an EPUB, and then you can do the whole page curl thing on your ebook reader. Pretty cool. All right, with that, you should have, I will put the link to the agenda, and I might actually do the version history to bring it back and make it, it's all messy now, but I'll just put the agenda back there, which has the link to the slides. Remember, on the slides, you have my contact information. I am also going to put in the chat, and I'll stop the recording shortly, our survey. So the feedback survey, and I will put our attendance. Oh, there you go. And let me stop the recording.